Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about, can you get your ex back when they don't have feelings for you?
It's a tough one.
It seems impossible.
Yeah.
It is tough because, a lot of the reasons that we want to be with somebody is because of the feelings that we have for them. And love isn't based on logic. If it was, many men would be talking their ex back into things with logic and reason.
That's true.
Which it doesn't work, sadly. If somebody tells you they don't have feelings for you, that's really painful. That's one of the things that probably hurts the worst. When somebody's like, I don't love you anymore. I don't have feelings for you anymore. Maybe they say, I'm not attracted to you anymore, along those lines. But I really believe a lot of that is about our behaviors. And, behaviors in the relationship that probably turn them off. And things that we do that cause a disconnect or a ruptured connection with the partner over time. But, if somebody tells you that they don't have feelings for you, they don't love you anymore, there's no chance they're going to take you back. When you're in that moment, please understand that is how they're feeling at that time about things. They're probably being honest with you. Of course, sometimes they're not. But they're probably just expressing how they're feeling about the relationship now or how they've been feeling about it lately. And those things can change. Feelings do change. I've said this for many years. Feelings change like the clouds that move across the sky. And it's true. But that doesn't mean you can't ignore what the person is telling you about how they're feeling, because you have to listen to what they're saying.
It does hurt. And when our feelings are hurt, it can cause our behavior to be very erratic, not make any sense at all. It can cause us to try to force things and also try to guilt our partner into changing their mind. All of these things just don't work. You can't force somebody to see something differently. You can't force somebody to love you or care about you. And it's like that one song, I Can't Make You Love Me.
Oh, yeah, but is it Bonnie Raitt?
Bonnie Bear.
Oh, okay.
But I think there's an original by somebody else.
Okay.
I think that was a cover. But those are the lyrics of the song. I can't make you love me if you don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't.
Yeah.
It's a very profound song.
It's a sad song.
It is a sad song, but it's a beautiful song. And there's a lot of power to it. You do feel so helpless in the moment of a breakup that there's nothing I can do to change how you feel.
The other song that comes to my mind is What Did You Think I Would Do in This Moment When You're Standing Before Me with Tears in Your Eyes and you said that you don't love me no more. You know that one? That one's like, oh man, it's brutal.
So emotional.
Yeah, if you think about some of the most powerful music, I was thinking about this the other day, a lot of it is love songs about a broken heart.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm always thinking like, oh, this sounds like an anxious guy. This sounds like an anxious guy going through a breakup, wrote this one. Chicago.
And I know a lot of times on the
Air
channel,
Supply.
Yeah.
the most anxious guys in the world. Writing sad songs together. Yeah, I do.
So funny.
Yeah, well, if we were allowed on YouTube, it'd be fun to go over different sad songs.
Would be.
But we can't because of the copyright
True.
stuff.
We could probably go over the lyrics. It'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like, I always wonder what your guys' like sad songs are, like the sad ones that you think of or that impact you.
Yeah. Probably many of you would relate to each other. And what's interesting on the channel, we talk about these concepts and psychology, and a lot of times it's those simple phrases that we connect with the most, that resonate the most with us. Wow, they don't love me anymore. Wow, I feel helpless. It's those things, very simple.
Well, I was thinking about this years ago about how our attachment issues really come out in the music and in these songs. And it's almost like they perpetuate the cycle by you bonding with and connecting to this feeling of the song, but then you're kind of like reinforced in that anxious attachment style.
Yeah. Sometimes a song can say something better than you could have put it yourself.
Yeah.
So at the moment that your ex does decide to end the relationship, they are not feeling as connected to you. They're not feeling this type of bond that they felt in the beginning of the relationship. Most likely they're not feeling passionate. They're not feeling this liveliness and excitement that comes from relationships. There might still be some attraction, maybe physical attraction, but that emotional component is just not there as it used to be, likely because of behaviors that have happened, maybe things externally going on in their lives that are impacting their ability to connect. So at that moment, they have decided that staying in the relationship is no longer worth it, that the benefits of ending it are greater than being together. And it's important for you to understand this, because we need to start seeing things from their perspective. We can often get into this mindset of, I'm going to convince my ex. But likely they've thought about many of the reasons that you're bringing up to them already. They've considered that. Most breakups aren't easy for the dumper either.
No, they're not.
Another thing to consider is also attachment style. Their attachment style might play into the breakup, along with compatibility issues or, the bond not being strong enough. We do see many cases where it's, a very short-term relationship and not enough time to really build that attachment. And so these are all things to consider when your ex says something like the feelings just aren't there.
Well, I think a lot of that, too, is when somebody is trying to force the attachment, more intense or more deep, or putting that pressure on the other person, and they're not there yet, and then they're feeling bad about it because they're like, I see how much this person likes me and I'm not there yet. So then they feel guilty about it, and a whole bunch of issues are going to stem from that. But yes, behavior is a huge component of attraction. And I've talked to so many women that said, I was not physically attracted to this guy at all. He was not my type at all. But then they fell in love with him because of the way he behaved, because of how confident he was, how he acted. He didn't pressure, and things flowed, and that connection was able to build. But just like the connection can build, the unattractive behaviors can squash it.
Right. And as mentioned before, your ex has already sorted out the pros and cons. Many of you think, okay, if I just tell my ex, I promise that I'm going to change this behavior, or, things are going to be different now because of this or because of that. They are not convinced. They have considered those things in their mind, and they have thought to themselves, this person is probably not going to change.
And then sometimes they get angry at you for changing. Because they're like, I've asked you for 3 years to change this, and now you want to change.
Yeah.
Now you want to do it.
It feels manipulative. It feels like you're doing this just so that we can get back together, and then you're going to revert.
Well, unfortunately, many of you watching this video are going to do that.
Yeah.
Whether you're going to admit it to yourself or not, you will.
That's true.
You may be like, oh, that won't be me. Oh, yeah, 6 months later, it'll be you.
Yeah, what we want to see is consistency, okay? Consistency really does show that you have changed over time. I say this a lot in my calls dealing with clients. Okay, how can I show her I've changed if I don't really interact with her that much? Consistency, okay? And also, there's something to be said about going back to your element. I think during a breakup, you get that opportunity to become an individual again, to figure out what your likes are, what your dislikes are, to kind of reinvent yourself. And being back in your element is a very attractive thing.
Unfortunately, many of you are like, I don't like anything except for my ex.
That's fair.
That's what it feels like, yeah. I mean, you lose interest in your hobbies and your interests and everything. So that's normal. When it got to the point where they're at the breakup, and they've made the decision to end it, it's because they're really feeling like this is not working for me anymore, for whatever reason. Now, that's not the case for every situation. I have to explain that sometimes people jump at us, well, that wasn't me. I was a great partner. I know, but this is a general video, so we're trying to talk about many of the things that we often see. So they've gotten to this place where they don't feel strongly enough to stay. It's too painful, it's too overwhelming, it's too frustrating, whatever it might be. But you can turn it around, but it starts with respecting their decision. When you stop pushing, trying to force your agenda, that's when they're more likely to feel the loss, miss you, think about your positive qualities, and if they really want to lose you.
Yeah, exactly. It does take time for your ex to gain that perspective again. Right now, they see you in a certain light, and it's going to take time for them to see you differently. And a lot of you might be inclined to try to make your ex feel guilty. Now, we mentioned this earlier.
No.
Guilt is really not sexy. Guilt is not very conducive to a healthy relationship, and guilt is not going to make that desire come back. Saying, okay, you said that you were going to love me. You said that we would be together forever. It just makes them feel more pressured and more obligated. And people have a right to change their mind. People have a right to change their feelings. It happens all the time. And showing them that you can handle it, that you can soothe yourself throughout whatever they're going through, that's going to show them that confidence.
Absolutely. So that's why we're encouraging you not to reach out, to stay in no contact. Now, listen, if they contact you, we're not telling you to ignore them. That we find immature, and we don't encourage that kind of behavior. So if they reach out, yes, we want you to connect with them and try and see what they want. Obviously, if they're breadcrumbing you, we don't want you to tolerate that. That's another outlier for a situation. But we're talking about a situation where your ex has had time to miss you and then they reach out.
Exactly. We want you to also have standards too here. So many of you after a breakup are saying to yourself, I'm going to take my ex back by any means possible, no matter what. You know, I'm in love with them. I want to make this work. Also, reconsider, okay, what were times in the relationship where maybe your attraction dipped a little bit?
Yeah.
You know, what was going on with them? What behaviors would you like to see? What do you need and want in a relationship? You really want to come from the stance of, I also have a right to my own needs and my own wants and desires in a relationship, and not just settle for anything.
That's right. Because when you're feeling that anxious and desperate, you feel like you'll take anything. Now, when you're going no contact, you may feel like you're not going to do anything, or that it's not doing anything. It's not having an impact on that person. They're not going to miss you. They're not going to change their feelings. That's not the way it works. Okay? Not in most cases. In most cases, respecting their decision is what's going to cause them to feel the loss, to feel the uncertainty, to miss you, and to be more likely to realize that they do have feelings for you.
And they need to believe from their own experience with you, their own observation of you, that something is going to change. You know, your ex likely doesn't want to get back into the same relationship once they've lost feelings. You have to think about some of those elements that existed in the very beginning of your relationship. Probably a lot of fun, probably a lot of play. It's important to reconsider that, see what pieces that you can take back for yourself. And also now with this experience and this wisdom of having gone through this breakup, you know, what are things that you would have done differently? What are things that you would have done better?
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to work on them now. And don't forget that fun piece. It's really, really important. A lot of times we can become complacent in relationships. We take our ex for granted. We take for granted the fact that we have somebody that wants to connect with us, that wants to laugh with us, that wants to explore the world with us. So it's important that you also take that back for yourself. You know, relationships are supposed to be fun. Remember that in reconnecting with your ex.
It's hard to be fun when you're only focused on the outcome, though.
Yeah.
When you're only obsessed with getting them back or how it goes, you can't be in the moment because you're so focused on the outcome. Think about it. You can't be in the moment and focused on the outcome at the same time. Like when I did stand-up comedy, you have to be in the moment of telling the joke. Because if you're not in the moment and you have to be thinking ahead, but if you're not in the moment, then you're going to mess up the punchline because you're going to be focused and your timing is going to be off. Your delivery is going to be off. If you're confident in the moment, you're going to do well. Like when you're on stage and you're in front of a bunch of people. When you're confident in that moment, you can play. You can have fun. You're not afraid they're not going to laugh at this joke. Because you're connecting with the audience and they're getting it. They're on the same page with you. And then they have the twist, the surprise, right? So you have to be present to play is what I'm getting at.
So being present and being able to play and have fun and keeping things light, all of those things all of those elements allow romantic attraction to happen. So this is what we want you to remember.
Yep.
Too, that sure, your ex may have lost feelings for you, but feelings are something that come and go. Feelings are also something that can be rebuilt. And feelings, that romantic love, that attraction, is something that can be maintained throughout a relationship.
Try and come from a confident place of, they had feelings for me before, they can have feelings for me again. Mm-hmm. That's a much more confident place to come from, because, you know, like I tell you guys, the very thing we're afraid of, we often cause to happen. So if you're afraid that they don't have feelings for you anymore, and all you do is focus on that, then you're going to act so scared around them that you're not actually acting confident or attractive in a way that could re-attract them. Mm-hmm. So just try and have this mindset of, well, they had feelings for me before, so I can do things to create feelings in them again, as long as you behave attractively and not make mistakes. I gotta reiterate that, because the minute your ex reaches out and you start those mistakes, that's what hurts the attraction again. All right, so hopefully this video has been helpful to you. If you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you want to talk.
Just click on her name to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.